This is the Phantom, GepRC Phantom HD, they call it. I built this one myself, and I used 1204 motors instead of the, I think it was 1106. They wanted a few other little changes I made, and I put this Nebula camera in here along with this Cadec Vista. Now I'm attempting to put this Nebula Pro, and what I did was, Emax has a new drone called the Baby Hawk 2 HD. It's their first one with Cadecs, and this is their mounting system, and it's smooth as silk. I mean, no jello. And now this never, I didn't get any jello out of this either. It had these little hard mount brackets that went in these slots, and this thing just flies great. So I wanted to put a better camera in it, because the Nebula Nano is just, I mean, it's orange 1 second and it's blue the next. So we're going to attempt to cram this bigger camera right here on their Phantom HD. Now I know it seems like a lot of money to put in to such a tiny little drone, but I love the tiny little drones, and this one is one of the best. And with the Cadec Vista and I use the DJI radio and all that, you know, I'm getting at least a half a mile out of it, no problem, over a half a mile, and it gets there pretty quick. I'd say this thing probably goes 40-50 miles an hour at full blast if you put a 4S battery on it. So update in a few. Okay, so this TPU is a little too thick. So what I'm doing is very slowly and methodically, I got my soldering iron at 800, and I'm just slowly trying to make a little concave in there, and I'm just going to keep working on that very carefully and patiently until it looks like everything's going to work, except for the TPU is a little too thick. I'm going to get the camera in there. It's going to give me very limited camera adjustment, but I think if I get it at about 25 or something, and I squeeze it in there, it's not going to move. That's the plan, and we'll see how it turns out. So you can see here, I wallowed out the, probably clean that up a little bit with a razor knife or something, but I wallowed out just a little bit of a circle around here, and this Nebula Pro camera fit right in here. Now I can still move it, I can still adjust it down a little, but probably not much up, because I only went so far up with my concave rig there. So this drone is packed full of electronics. The flight controller was very frustrating. There's not a ton of wires on this, but my vision is not very good, and these pads are very small and very close together for the you know, for the S-bus. The motors weren't that hard, but the control wires is what I like to call them. And then I get the Nebula camera, the Nebula Nano in there. It was okay. The drone flew so good that I wanted something better. And I thought, man, this thing will go a half a mile. It needs a better camera. It was so smooth, no jello. You know, you're not going to carry much with it. It's fairly heavy. Let's see what it weighs now with the no battery, Nebula Pro, and the Caddx, the antenna I put on it. 100 grams. This is the battery I normally use with it.
So you kind of have to pull it down yourself.
This is a perfect combination. This battery fits on here perfectly.
Adjusting itself for the landing pad.
Add that. 150 grams. I don't know what it weighed before. Plus the two props I took off. About 152 grams. Still well under the registration limit, and there will be no remote ID. This thing will go a long way. As far as any other drone with a Caddx Vista, these props are a little less aggressively pitched than the ones that they recommend, or the ones that would come if you bought this drone. That gives you a little extra battery life. In my experience, I'm not a flippy floppy trickster, so I like to fly through things, and I like to go around things, and you know, I might do a little flip here or whatever. I'm not a freestyler. I like to explore, and this drone is great and it has great control, so I like to go far. I say I'm getting, you know, probably between 6 and 7 minutes with this on a 3S 500 milliamp battery, and you can put a 4S. I flew a 400 or a 4S 650, or no, 450. You get a little faster. It's not shaped like this though. I like the way this one's shaped because it fits right on there, and it, you know, you don't have to worry about the center of gravity so much. The 4S battery I have is just a little square and fat, you know. So you probably get, I think I'm getting a little less time out of that, but maybe that's because I'm hitting it a little harder on the throttle. But this thing is very fast. It can also cruise pretty slow. Now, so the real test is, I'm gonna have to plug this in and make sure I didn't fiddling with all this stuff, didn't mess anything up with the wiring and solder connections and all that. Then I'll be ready to take it for a flight. It's not real nice out today, but it's not real windy. I usually go for a flight around 6. 6 is the golden hour, between 6 and 7. And 7, it's starting to get a little bit dark, at least right now at this time of year. If I get there about 6:30 to my little spot, it gives me a good half an hour of kind of the golden hour. This is my little Nano, or this is my Phantom HD. I just squeezed that Nebula Pro camera in here, and I haven't had a chance to test it, so this is the test. We're recording. Hold on. Put it in acro. You can see the props in the view. That's okay. This thing's still great. This thing is so controllable. I can go really slow. That's what I like about it. I'm not a big fan of the props in the view, but try to keep it out of that sun. This is my only obstacle here to cruise around, is this tree. And myself. Right now I'm just going nice and slow. Accidentally just changed the... Wow. It's like my battery's already kind of hurting. Let it recover a little bit. I thought I fully charged that battery. Already down to 10.6. This thing will get moving too. I mean, I am at probably 10% throttle. I'm all the way across that field already. We'll get with it. Ooh, I just noticed my car lights are on. Sun is bright. You can do freestyle with this, but I'm not very good at freestyle. I'm more of an explorer. Let's see what's going on over here. Well, if the sun wasn't so bad, you really could explore with this drone. I'd go down that trail there, but I don't feel like walking if I hit a ghost branch. Battery's sagging pretty good. I'm gonna have to bring this one back in. I need to turn my car lights off anyway. We're at 3.5 volts per cell. Landing is always the fun part.